Welcome to Listpedia. It's time to count down the top 5 safest countries if World War III actually happened. It's believed that there are 8 countries who currently possess nuclear weapons. What would World War III look like? One possibility is that everyone, no matter where people go or what bunker they hide in, just die. But what happens if countries show some restraint? Maybe they only resort to small arms attacks. In this list, we try to consider all the possibilities and figure out which countries would be the safest choice to run to when World War III reaches our doorstep. Number 5. Greenland. Greenland is actually a Danish-dependent territory. The politics in Greenland are closely aligned with those of Denmark. On the Global Peace Index, Denmark is ranked 2nd, which means there's a good chance that Denmark would keep out of any world war. The obvious difference between Greenland and Denmark is that Denmark is connected to mainland Europe, while Greenland is 3,281 kilometers away. Greenland is a vast country with plenty of self-sufficiency possibilities should they be cut off from the rest of the world. Number 4. Chile. At the southernmost tip of South America, there is a Chilean city called Punta Arenas. The city is about as far away as it's possible to be from any nuclear state. Punta Arenas is located on a major continent and still easily accessible by plane. So you have a chance of getting there if you need to run out the door because bombs are dropping all around, unlike somewhere like Antarctica, which would be much harder to reach. Although a lot of expeditions to Antarctica do leave from there, so if the radiation fallout is heading that way, there is a chance you could get a plane or boat to Antarctica. Number 3. Iceland. The advantages of living in a remote area have been mentioned several times already. Iceland is no exception. Its distant location and lack of neighboring countries make it much safer than other countries. Ranked number 1 on the Global Peace Index, it's very unlikely Iceland would ever attack or be attacked by anybody. The idea of launching a land assault on Iceland is almost laughable, with only a few hours of daylight in winter and freezing cold conditions most of the year. Number 2. The United States of America. Wait, what? How could the U.S. possibly be safe? Well, this entry should be noted as pure speculation. However, there are many things that are unknown about the United States military systems and technological developments. It is very likely that the U.S. has a large amount of hidden fallout bunkers which would allow for shelter. Conspiracy theorists believe that the U.S. military has super technologies that are kept secret. The reasoning goes that at this point in time, there's no reason for the U.S. to use these technologies. What they could be is real guesswork. 2 possible scenarios are some sort of super weapon or super shield. If the United States did possess either of these, there is a good chance they could destroy enemies while remaining safely on the couch. Plus, they've got that whole alien conspiracy Area 51 thing to fall back on. Ugh, creepy. Before we announce our number 1 pick, here are a few close calls that nearly made the list. Japan. Ever since Japan suffered a devastating defeat during World War II, it has placed great effort to focus solely on economic development and education. It has implemented a core law that prohibits the country from having any relation to nuclear weapons. Japan has renounced its right to declare war. What counts against Japan is its location and proximity to Asia. Fiji. There are 332 islands that make up Fiji, making a land assault nearly impossible, as it would take nearly an entire year to go to each island if you took one per day. The remoteness of the country also provides a geographical advantage. Switzerland. Neutrality? Check. Rich economy? Check. Well-armed military? Check. Mountains that serve as fortresses? Check. It has a long-standing stubbornness of not getting involved in conflicts, but they're smack bang in the middle of Europe, so good luck avoiding that radiation cloud. So that brings us to our number 1, New Zealand. If New Zealand isn't safe, then everyone is probably dead already. Ranked number 4 on the Global Peace Index, New Zealand does its best to stay out of wars and conflict. New Zealand gets over 50% of its electricity from hydroelectric power. This is big because even if New Zealand was cut off from energy resources such as oil and coal, it could still function normally, making war or survival quite possible. The country's rich and fertile environment means it can be completely self-sufficient, with no need for the population to have any contact with the rest of the world. Plus, I hear that's where Mount Doom is, and if things go bad, who else are you gonna call on? Sauron? Yeah, bring the heat. Well, I'm off. I've got to buy a plane ticket.